Hey guys, good afternoon. It's Cali. How's everybody doing today? I thought I would talk to you today about my tarot decks and my experiences with tarot and just share with you a little what I have and what I use if anyone is interested. I'm not going to really go into the whole history of tarot. If you're interested, Google it. It's an amazing history. I read that it started, in the 1400s in Italy, some say, and it actually started as a playing card game. I do have the rules for that game, although I've never played it as a playing card game. But anyway, so yeah, there's plenty of information out there on what tarot is. For years and years, I couldn't tell you when I first learned of tarot, probably when I was 14 or 15. I was a young hippie child, and now I'm an old hippie child, but I've always loved all things mystical and magical, and I definitely remember, having knowledge of tarot at a younger age. And again, probably around 1989 is when I actively began researching Wicca and realizing that I am in fact a witch. So tarot cards are just part of that lifestyle and experience for me. And for years and years now, I've been studying it for years, and I still feel like a total newbie in so many ways. I do a daily draw for myself every day, and I do just a random card, and kind of just to see how, my day is going to go. And it's not hard and fast. Everything is choices in life, but it's kind of cool. It's a good indicator. And through that way, I've gotten to know a lot more. But I still feel like a newbie, and there's so much to learn. But I'm an avid student. And recently, here on YouTube, Annie from the channel Mirth and Reverence, and I will link her below, has piqued my interest, and I've joined on board for her new series or course, Tarot Together. And if you haven't checked it out and you're interested, I totally encourage you to do it. I love Annie. She's a wonderful, wonderful, wise woman and teacher, and we're just getting started. The class hasn't really officially started yet. She's giving background in history much more eloquently than I could. But check her out. And without further ado, I'm going to share with you my decks and other things that I use for divination. Yeah, that's it. So the first deck that I'm going to share with you is a deck from a married couple, Monty Farber and Amy Zerner. And this is one of the very first books and decks, I think it came in a box set, that I had gotten, I don't know, 20 years ago or so, probably longer. And what's interesting about this, the book itself tells all about the cards, obviously, but it lets you do a layout and then tells you by the card number what each card means in the layout. And so that's kind of unique to this book, and I liked it. I found that very helpful as a novice. It was helpful to do layouts that way. But also what's very unique about this deck is the fact that I believe Monty, the husband, wrote the wording and the book itself, and Amy is the artist of the family. And her cards are works of art, and she actually, this is the magician. These are pictures of tapestries that she sewed. Each one of these pictures is actually a sewed tapestry made out of fabric, and they're huge. She did one for every card in the deck, so 78 cards, and each panel that she did, this is the sun, obviously, each panel that she did these works of art on were huge. They were like 10 feet tall, and I believe she painted them on silk. Look at the World card. So these are pictures of her actual cloth tapestries, and they're just amazing. If you could really see the detail on these cards, it must have taken her years and years to do this. But so that was one of my very first decks, and I love it. It's well loved. And again, I used it along with the book, which I still occasionally use the book. I'm not comfortable 100% in doing readings. I do readings for myself and my loved ones. But I'm not, I need my books around me still. I'm not comfortable doing it fluidly off of the top of my head, although I'm still learning every day. So there's that. And I have water here, excuse me. There's a guy mowing the lawn outside. It's very loud, so I apologize. Okay. Now I'm going to show you, I'll show you a bunch of extraneous decks that extra decks I have before I get to the one that I use on a daily basis. And, yeah, so the one I'll just tell you, actually, I'll start there. The one I use on a daily basis is, of course, the good old Rider-Waite deck. And I don't know which edition this is. This is copyright 1971. So I know Annie did a video on the different Rider-Waite decks. And I have this back with my book. There's the Queen of Pentacles. And that's my card. I'm a Virgo. This is the deck that I love the most, that I've had the longest. It was not gifted to me. I know there's talk out there that, you know, your first tarot deck has to be gifted to you by a witch. Well, that's wonderful if there's a handy witch available with a deck for you. But if not, you may have to buy your own or acquire your own somehow. So I did. I have subsequently gifted decks to others. I recently got Tom the Rider-Waite Radiant deck, which is beautiful, but it didn't call to me because although it was supposedly based on the exact same artwork, the facial features and everything looked a little different to me. But I did really like the colors on it. It's very, very bright, where these, of course, are not so bright. But so this is the deck that I use daily and that I do my daily draw from, and I love it. And it's always out. I have a little tarot altar in my living room that I keep my card on, and then I'll meditate for the day. And I also have a little mini Rider-Waite deck, just more for novelty's sake. And I have used it a few times. It's a little small. It doesn't feel great in my hand. But what's the copyright on this one? I can't see. It's funny. I need my glasses I've worn for years, but anyway. So this is just, you know, the exact same thing as this, but little. So those two, that's what I use daily, and I'll also share with you my tarot books, and as well as the book that I've made for myself that I use the most. Okay, so there's those, and then here's just some extra novelty decks. A deck that I love, 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 love the artwork on is the Shadowscape Tarot. And I know that a lot of you have seen this. It is so, so beautiful. This is from Stephanie Pui Moon Law. And there's a book, obviously, as these are all. And it's just glorious artwork. Glorious. Yeah, I could just sit and look at these cards all day long, and I'll show you the deck. And as I've gotten older, I've started keeping the boxes to things. Go figure. You know, we learn, right? And again, I'm hoping that someday maybe my grandchildren or my great-grandchildren will think it's really cool that Grandma had a tarot deck. Yeah, just, you know, random. Here's the Ace of Wands. Aren't they gorgeous? Here's the Hangman. So, again, I love this deck aesthetically. It's so beautiful, Four of Cups. But I use it, I don't use it daily, and I love it for its artwork, and I do look at it and take it out and appreciate the artwork, but it's not something that I work with closely at this time. Again, it's got a really nice book to it. So that's always good. And it's always cool to see different interpretations of the cards. So there's that. And then I have, this is something I got, I can't even remember where I got this. It's a little mini deck. And, you know, it's kind of a novelty, the complete kit. So it came with a little book. And I don't even know who the author of this deck is. Dennis Fairchild, illustrations by Julie Pashkis. And so there's just a little mini book. And the cards are kind of novel looking. They're like, this is the Lovers. They're kind of simple. And I love the backs of these cards. Aren't they cool? Super cool. Here's Strength. I just think they're really neat. So I have that. And I think probably like a lot of you who love the tarot, we tend to collect decks. So I always keep my eye out in thrift stores or anywhere. Wow, my phone cut me off. I apologize for that, folks. So anyway, starting back off where I was, on to the next deck. The next deck I'm going to show you is the Hanson Roberts Tarot deck. And this is another deck that I have I don't use it often, although it is a beautiful deck. There are wonderful artists. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh yeah, look at this. I mean, it's just beautiful. The Star. King of Cups. So I should think about alternating my decks, or I don't know, but you know, you use the one you're comfortable with and the one you've learned on the most, I think. So yeah, so this Hanson Roberts deck, illustrated by Mary Hanson Roberts, instructions by Stuart Kaplan. So, and I always check out every book that comes. I want to see everybody's different interpretations, although they're similar in many ways. Different people have different takes on things, so I kind of take a little from everywhere and make my own ideas and what calls to me. The next deck is one of my favorites, the Morgan Greer Tarot, and a lot of you may be familiar with this. This is my second one. The first one that I owned got totally covered with wax, just like a good witch. Yeah, little booklet, and just super vibrant colors. The backs are really cool with the stars. Wheel of Fortune, you know, Four of Pentacles. Mine, mine, mine. Yeah, so super vibrant, really, really cool. The Sun, I love that card. So the first deck got ruined with wax, although I still have it. And I have taken a heat gun to it and you know, so I've kind of fixed it, if you will, but I wanted to have another one that was, because the wax keeps the cards from being easy to shuffle and deal, you know. So there's that. And then this one, I am a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I have been since I got my first copy of The Hobbit when I was about 10 years old, which I still own, and I have a now I have a beautiful boxed copy of The Hobbit, and I also have the box set of The Lord of the Rings and the movies, and I'm just a huge fan, so had to get the tarot deck, right? And this one's cute because again, the illustrations are beautiful. But the Fool is Gollum. Look at this. And these are the backs. One ring to rule them all. You know, the Emperor is Elrond. Elrond refuses to touch the ring and thus retains his independence. So it's just cool, you know. Wheel of Fortune is the ring. Yeah. So had to have that. Not that I'm a hoarder or anything. I'm really not. But certain things, you know, we all have our collections, right? And compared to a lot of people, I'm so fortunate to have what I have, but I don't think I have an excessive amount. But who's counting? Next deck I want to show you, again, I really, really love the artwork on this. This is called the Karma Tarot by Brigitte Bolin et Fruit. Brigitte Bolin et Fruit. It says the 78 card Karma Tarot deck is a fascinating blend of color, motion, and phantasmagoric art. And it is. The artwork in this is just phenomenal. Here's the Fool. Isn't it cool? Isn't the Fool cool? The Sun. And on the back it says Karma Music Tarot cards. Here's Justice. Look at the Queen of Cups. Isn't that cool art? Some people might not like that kind of art, but I really, really dig it. Look at the moon. So that's super cool. And the cards are really big, you know, which is great for artwork's sake, but a little hard to handle. But I love this deck a lot. Had it for years. Can't remember where I got it. Any decks that I buy used, obviously I cleanse. I usually just smudge them with some white sage. I have blessed and consecrated them. Because obviously you want to remove anybody else's energy attached to them. But you guys knew that already. Okay, the next deck is my Goddess Tarot deck by Chris Waldher. And this is very, very cool. And each card has a goddess from all pantheons are represented. Look, the Magician is Isis. Strength is Oya. So this is another interpretation of the tarot. Obviously, oh, look at this. 7, which I believe is the Chariot, is Rhiannon. Shout out to any of my Stevie Nicks fans. So again, great take on the tarot and another cool way to learn more about goddesses. Beautiful deck. That was gifted to me by Tom and my stepson Nick last Christmas. Okay, this little set, if you will, is Cachet Tarot reading. And I like this box, and it comes with the deck and a pretty cool hardcover book. And I opened this before so I wouldn't have to struggle with it on camera, but alas. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's quite a nice set, and one that I don't use. I don't know why. But these are all in great shape. Aw, they're beautiful. I mean, they're just beautiful. The sun. And these are the backs. You know? King of Wands. I love these. Queen of Cups. So there's that. And then I have two Aleister Crowley, I believe they're pronounced Thoth tarot decks. I have this. And this, I believe, is original. I mean, it's definitely vintage. Printed in Belgium. I got this on eBay, and this is designed by Aleister Crowley, painted by Lady Frida Harris. So I have this one, and then I have this one, which is a newer version, obviously. These were both printed in Belgium. That's interesting. And let's see. I'll show you. I have a really good book on Aleister Crowley. Called Do What Thou Wilt. I highly recommend it. By Lawrence Sutin, S-U-T-I-N. And said Aleister Crowley designed this tarot as illustrations for the Book of Thoth. They were painted by Lady Frida Harris and are now issued as cards. To use them is to learn. To use them with the delicacy of great art is to embark on the path of initiation. Those interested in the Kabbalistic and astrological attributions of these cards are referred to Aleister Crowley's 777 and the Book of Thoth. Those interested in the thelemic attributions are referred to Aleister Crowley's Liber al-Vel Legis, the Book of the Law, especially chapter 157, where it is written, all these old letters of my book are all right, but Sati is not the star. Love is the law, love under will. And this is the Fool. And like I said, I have a newer version of that same deck. And then I have this Celtic Oracle set, and honestly I don't use these often at all. This was gifted to me, but it's got a beautiful book and a beautiful deck. But I have to say, I really don't use divination decks that much other than the tarot, but I like to have them. And you guys have decided I'm just going to show you my decks here, and I'll be back to show you my other divination things. My phone is acting up with storage space weird, so I'll get back to you. But the other two divination decks that I have are the Well-Worn Path, and the follow-up to that is the Hidden Path. And again, they have books and decks. And I knew about these when I was enrolled in Sacred Mists, an online Wiccan college, which I highly, highly recommend. And I completed that course, and I really, really enjoyed it. So there's books and decks in there. And then the books that I use specifically, this one is one that I keep for myself, and it's all my own notes that I've kept on all the cards and everything I have, and cheat sheets. And this is what I refer to when I do my daily draw. So I encourage anyone who's learning about the tarot to keep a notebook, because you're going to need it. I also have the Pictorial Guide to the Tarot, Key to the Tarot, Arthur Edward Waite. I have the Complete Guide to the Tarot by Eden Gray. I have Your Guide to the Tarot by Janet Barret. The Seeker, the Tarot Unveiled, by Pollock. The Complete Idiot's Guide to Tarot. Highly recommend the Idiot books. And we'll follow that up with Tarot for Dummies. These are great for basics, you know. And then the very first book that I've ever got on tarot was the Tarot Workbook. And this was gifted to me by a woman named Ganja, who's no longer with us. But it's just called the Tarot Workbook. And Understanding and Using Tarot Symbolism by Emily Peach. So that's super helpful. So again, I'll come back, you guys, and show you what else I use for divination. But that's all I'm going to share for now before my battery runs out. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Blessed be. Take care. Bye-bye.